Jack knew Mother Loi had left before he entered her room. The door stood open before sunrise. Her blanket was folded neatly at the foot of the bed. Most of her clothes were gone from the wooden cabinet. The wedding photograph she kept beside her pillow had disappeared too. On the table lay her house key. Beneath it was a short note. "Do not come after me. You have already sacrificed enough because of me. It is time for you and Tu Tien to live your own lives." Jack read the final line twice, then he ran into the yard. "Tu Tien!" She came from the kitchen, carrying a kettle. Jack placed the note in her hands. "Mother is gone." Fresh footprints crossed the wet stone path and disappeared through the open gate. Far below the house, a bus horn sounded through the morning mist. The mountain pass would close for repairs at noon. That was the final bus that could cross before the road closed. Jack had less than an hour to reach his mother. Subscribe and stay with this family as he races toward the final bus. Tu Tien checked the shelf beside the door. Her medicine and walking basket are gone. She planned this. Jack reached for his motorcycle helmet. "The lower road is unstable," Tu Tien warned. "You will lose time in the mud. I cannot let that bus cross the pass. You cannot force her to come home." Jack looked at the note. "She thinks leaving will protect us. Then we must tell her what we feel before she decides for all of us." Uncle Dung's pickup appeared at the lower gate. He had arrived to help clear burned bamboo from behind the garden. Minutes later, the three of them were driving down the mountain. Tu Tien called the transport office. An elderly woman carrying a dark indigo bag had boarded the bus to Ban Hoa. The bus would stop at the old T checkpoint before crossing the pass. "Please call me if she changes her destination or leaves the bus before Ban Hoa," Tu Tien said. The dispatcher agreed. "We can reach the checkpoint in 20 minutes, Uncle Dung said. Beyond the next bend, a section of wet soil covered half the road. Vehicles waited in a long line while workers released traffic one direction at a time. "The bus is ahead of us," Uncle Dung said. Jack opened the door. "The checkpoint is almost 5 kilometers away," Tu Tien warned, "and the bus will not wait." Jack began running. He passed stopped motorcycles, muddy wheels, and workers carrying shovels. His shoes slipped on the wet road. He fell once and struck his palm against the ground. Jack rose without stopping. Then the bus emerged from the traffic behind him. Mother Loi was seated near the rear window. Jack raised both arms. "Mother!" She saw him. For one moment, her eyes widened. Then she turned away as the bus passed. Jack kept running. The bus reached the T checkpoint only moments before him. The driver was closing the luggage compartment when Jack arrived. "Please wait." The driver looked at Jack's muddy clothes and injured hand. "5 minutes," Jack said. The door opened. Jack walked down the narrow aisle. Mother Loi held her dark indigo bag on her lap. Her wedding photograph was wrapped in clean cloth beside it. Jack stopped next to her seat. "You left without saying goodbye." "I said everything in the note." "No, you decided everything in the note." Mother Loi looked at him. "I am returning to my hometown. Who is waiting for you?" "No one. A widow near the old market has a spare room. I can cook and clean in exchange for staying there." "You arranged this while eating dinner with us last night." "I did not want another argument." Jack sat beside her. "3 days ago I pulled down Father's burning house to save our home. You think we lost it because of you. You had to destroy the last house he built because I could not let go. The fire took that house. You risked your life pulling me away from the ruins. You are my mother. And how many times must you save me before your own life disappears?" The nearby passengers became quiet. Mother Loi held the wedding photograph closer. "You spent years helping your father after his health failed. Now you are taking care of me. You and Tu Tien should be building your future, but I keep giving you new reasons to sacrifice." Jack took the house key from his pocket and placed it on her bag. Mother Loi pushed it back. "The house belongs to you and Tu Tien. You live there. That does not mean I should." Jack wanted to take her bag and carry it off the bus. Instead, he remembered Tu Tien's warning. "You are right about one thing," he said. "I cannot make you come home." Mother Loi's expression changed. Jack placed the key inside the outer pocket of her bag. But I can return what belongs to you. I do not need it. You do not have to use it today. You do not have to stop blaming yourself today either. Jack looked directly at her. But do not call yourself a burden and pretend you are speaking for me. Mother Loi lowered her eyes. Your father feared you would spend your whole life caring for us. He wanted you to live freely. Father needed help because he was ill. Jack paused. You need people who love you because you are alive. The driver announced that the bus had to leave. Jack stood. I will not pull you from this bus. He moved toward the door. But that key will still open our gate whenever you choose to use it. Jack stepped onto the road. The doors closed behind him. The bus disappeared into the mist. When Uncle Dun's pickup reached the checkpoint, Tu Tien climbed out. Where is Mother? She chose to go. Tu Tien looked down the road. She did not tell Jack to run after the bus again. Then we go home. They had driven only a few kilometers when Tu Tien's phone rang. It was the transport office. The elderly passenger left the bus at the roadside shelter before the pass. The dispatcher said she refused to continue to Ban Hoa. Uncle Dun turned the pickup around. They found Mother Loi sitting beneath a small concrete shelter. Her bag rested at her feet. The house key lay in her open palm. Jack started walking toward her. Tu Tien touched his arm. Let me speak first. She sat beside Mother Loi. For several moments they listened to water dripping from the shelter roof. I could not stay on the bus, Mother Loi said. But you are not ready to come home. Mother Loi shook her head. Tu Tien looked at the key in her hand. You do not have to decide the rest of your life today. I thought leaving would make your lives easier. You left us an empty room, an empty chair, and a note telling us how we were supposed to feel. Mother Loi lowered her eyes. I did not want Jack to keep sacrificing for me. Jack decides what he gives. I decide what I give. Tu Tien moved slightly closer. You do not have to believe you are no longer a burden today. Come home and tell us what you feel at the table, not in a note left behind. What if I still want to leave tomorrow? Tell us tomorrow. We will listen. Mother Loi looked toward Jack. He remained beside the pickup and waited. He did not force me off the bus. He knew bringing your body home would not bring your heart home. Tu Tien held out her hand. Come back for today. Tomorrow can wait. Mother Loi looked at Tu Tien's hand. Then she looked at the key. Finally, she stood. Jack did not ask whether she had changed her mind forever. He only picked up her bag. Mother Loi noticed the blood and dirt on his palm. You hurt yourself because of me. I fell because I was running too fast. A tired smile passed across her face. They returned to the family home before noon. No one prepared a celebration. Mother Loi did not promise that she would never leave again. She walked through the gate, crossed the stone path, and stopped beside the front door. The hook where her key normally hung was empty. Jack and Tu Tien waited. Mother Loi opened her hand. Then she placed the key back on the hook herself. That evening, her bowl remained in its usual place between Jack and Tu Tien. Tomorrow, she said, we should clear the burned bamboo behind the garden. Jack nodded. Tomorrow. Tu Tien placed more vegetables into Mother Loi's bowl. Mother Loi had not promised never to leave again. She had only chosen to come home today. For this family, that was enough.